Why, hello there, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. My name is DB333, and welcome back to our turn for the New Order Last Days of Europe as Komi. I'm going to stop trying to pronounce this, because I don't know how to pronounce it properly. Last video, we took over the Order of St. George, and we're currently, quite literally at the end of the last video, beginning to fight against the front. So, before we continue with that, let's start some new oaths. The coalition lies in shambles. Its members are feuding with each other, both in the debating halls and the streets. The National Assembly is aimless in its direction. If its representatives were to swear allegiance to one party, it would do much to restore public faith in the government. Loyalty, particularly as few citizens believe they have loyalty to anyone other than themselves. However, the question of who swears loyalty to remain. Still divided among party lines, and pledging allegiance to one would only unite the Assembly against them. Many deals and compromise will have to be made between leadership and representatives, but a united assembly may just be possible. Probably not, though. The territory once owned by the Order of St. George has fallen under our control, and our forces have begun to restore order to the area. As with all conquest that we succeed in, different regional questions must be addressed for different areas, and gaining is no exception. The Order, as the name implies, was highly religious, and much of their funds were poured into monasteries and churches. Over time, however, many of these houses of worship have decayed, whether from natural elements, stray bullets and shells, or German bombs. The constant among them being that most are in a state of disrepair. The right in Komi is predominantly religious, excluding Sorov's clique, but the topic of funding to repair churches has struck a nerve. Arguments fly back and forth between each side. Those for it claim that even ignoring the obvious religious reasons, such a move would undoubtedly win favor from the local populace. Those against it argue that such funding would be better spent on state matters, such as the military. In the end, decisions must be made. Who matters more, God or the state? God. Churches shall be rebuilt. Okay, well, we gotta get into pushing right about now. Oh! Great news has arrived from our country. It's no secret that the war against the front, the vanguard of socialism in the region, has been a difficult struggle, and one that has forced us to use everything we have at our disposal. After all, the front is a remnant of the old movement from the days of the West Russian War. It's finally decided to reclaim its place as a formidable power in the country. Thankfully for us, who have dared to challenge it, we found an ally in the hostile environment, and that is the Anti-Communist Volunteer Guard. Oh, this is already not going too well. Today, one of the many recruitment centers we have set up to help in mobilization, over 100 men appear seemingly out of nowhere, requesting they participate in the struggle against the Socialist Front. When asked about their background, they made the situation much clearer. They're proud Russians from Onega, the warlord state famous for resisting the front against all odds with Finnish support. It seems that General Krupishnikov's regime has been successful in cultivating the patriotic sentiments. Of course, our government and the High Command have welcomed the arrival of the Anti-Communist Guard. A special unit of Onegans has been quickly organized and sent to the front. While it may not be much, it's still useful in this war. Even the smallest help counts. Okay, so let's do that, and then move into there. Try to get an encirclement going. You move up there. Oh, don't do that. Gorn is one. God, that's not very nice looking. Wait, no, why are you moving away from the capital? You fucking dingbats. Jesus, okay. It's a VP rush to Moscow, I mean Arkhangelsk. Interesting question has risen through the ranks of Passionary once again. Who do we swear our allegiance to? It's never been much of a problem before when the Komi right was just that, a political allegiance confined only to the Komi Republic, but now that our realm is beginning to dominate Western Russia, it's becoming much more of a hot topic among the various factions that make up our power base. Taboritsky's group, as is common with them, are pushing for a decidedly monarchist vow, one that swears allegiance to the Czar. Shavarvik, ever the populace, pushing for the vow to be that of the people. Srov wants an oath to be of the state. Finally, Gimilov has used his influence to try and get the oath not to be of the people, nor the state, nor the Tsar, but rather Eurasia as a whole. Each of these groups are using their momentum to try and gain influence. Knowing habit of theirs, but in such a tense political environment, it's only expected, and in case, we shall swear allegiance to the Tsar. Let's go against the party. The men who were once the torchbearers for a new vision of Russia have devolved into bickerers and factionalists. The old god of Passionary can no longer be trusted to rebuild the motherland. Now, that does not mean Russia does not have a future anymore. Taboritsky, Serov, and others do not join the Passionary out of idealism, but of convenience. But they are the ones who the torch shall be passed on to, who shall return Russia to glory. Perhaps a proposal to cut them a deal to increase their power in Komi is in the works. Fuck. How bad is that? Somewhat bad. Okay, use this. Okay, Jesus. Semenov. Does that do it? Can we get him out with that? Please, God. No. Okay, move there. No, don't attack. You gotta stay put, pal. God, this is not one of my prettier wars. Take a Stroma. You move up. Well, observe, load game. Luckily, we died before the autosave went through, so we can go back. Usually this war goes way better for me. Usually the strategy, as I've done it now, works better. Do we have to make it E? Okay, let me debug. Let me look how many troops they have to begin with. Tag WRS. Okay, they have more troops to begin with anyway. So let's even it out a little bit. Let them keep their motorized. Okay, now that we got that done. Try pushing a bit more. Research slot, let's get... What can we get going? Batch production methods, let's do it. Dedicate yourself to the Czar. Next against the party. Same idea, just different execution. It still looks fucking horrific, but it's less bad now. And actually, it might be more bad. Intervention in Africa. Tomsk is unified Central Siberia. See if we can't take Ostroma. Let's do a blast of the past. Russia's a sick country. The motherland is bitterly divided, and our people are fearful and in want. Easy prey to the traitors and parasites that feast upon our sickened body. Taboritsky tells us it wasn't always like this. Under the Holy Czar, he says, the Russians walked the path of the righteousness. Everyone knew their place in the world and did their duty to the motherland, and for that, she wielded immense wealth and power. Taboritsky wants us to improve our wretched condition, return to the natural order, and step back on the path to righteousness. It's a return to the traditional ways of things. He promised us the glories of the past will return to us. Does the future of Russia lie in the past? It's not. Let me tell you, there's not going to be much of a fucking future if we don't get this shit together. We'll take this, get their airport. Fuck. I swear, I have usually done better with this war. Maybe it's just that, it's Tukhachevsky? This is embarrassing. I have not lost this much in HoI 4 since, what? I'm trying to think. I remember Ausland didn't go that well. What is it again? Nick. Yeah, fuck it. I don't care too much anymore. Get moving, boys. Sport weapons. Czar. Next, the party. Go against it. Move forward. You know what? They couldn't. They were scared of Taboritsky. They were scared of going against the will of the Czar. That's why they decided to put their guns down and run away. New schools. There we go. A little cheap, admittedly. I don't like that I had to do this, but it's been done. And with that, we're looking pretty thick. So we can integrate Arkhangelsk, Plesetsk, Utka, and Vologda. Free military factories, we'll do that. Also get some more infantry fighting vehicles going. So yeah, let's do that. So we'll probably bypass this. Maybe mop up the last remnants. Vituska is one interesting. Interesting indeed. Well. There goes Tomsk. Who's going against us? Vyatka. Of course they are. Well, looks like they'll bypass. They'll break the act for us so we don't have to do it. That's nice. Back to the past. It's tempting as a target as and it is. The front must be our primary objective for the attack. Allowing it to consolidate itself at any further is unacceptable from a strategic point. The level of disarray it finds itself at the moment. We could find it ourselves, able to defeat it, as easily as the Germans shattered Bukharin's unit in the Second World War. The men must be prepared. We have no time to waste. So that's not going to bypass it, so I'll auto-complete just so we can do that. There we go. And then can we do this? We only have to own Utka. Okay, that's fine. The front has been cast down, but our work here against Bolshevism does not end. Throughout Arkhangelsk there lies the legions of officers and commissars, some of whom have fought to spread the Red Plague through Russia since before Bukharin's defeat. There's only one option. We must neutralize their influence, forever and always, to ensure that Bolshevism never returns to our lands. There can only be two possible fates for Reds, a cold cell or hot lead. Stop training these guys. Get our manpower back. Or don't give us manpower. I mean, I guess that works too. Get better artillery going. Yep, okay. I'm hoping this isn't going to need to be one of those where I just have to cheat my way to win the whole way through. Because I don't like doing those. I actually like being able to clutch out a victory and do well. There's only so much you can do, I guess. Let's move into Bumstroy. Let's ease off on that. You stop doing that. You stop doing that too. We'll push where it makes sense to push. Done with mopping up the spare. Well, if Red's gone and buried, our pact with Czar of South has outlived its usefulness. Vyatka can no longer represent a possible ally. You don't say! The pact must be formally dissolved at once, and now our forces prepare to strike south at a moment's notice. Vladimir, of course, does not need to know about this until the time comes. Finally, the Red Scourge has been purged from Western Russia. The hammered sickle no longer waves over Arkhangelsk, but instead lies where it belongs. Ripped and trampled, covered with mud and grime. It's the only place where such a perverse backward symbol should lie. Many things will come of this new development, but one of the most important is the trial of a Red Army, as it should have been a half-century ago. However, an interesting situation has cropped up, one that requires our attention. It's always been the habit of the Bolsheviks to betray their nation. It seems this phenomenon has cropped up yet again. Numerous Red officers, when told of what it would be tried for, seem to have a sudden ideological change of heart. These rats in uniform seem to be more than willing to switch sides, betraying their old friends for a new job and shot at survival. While it seems unlikely that these men, if they can be called such, will be any more loyal to our army than their old haunts, the army can always use experienced officers. Letting those who repent collaborate may be a controversial move, but it would certainly be a boost to our relatively green soldiers. Choice should come down to our leadership. No mercy for the turncoats. Is this guy really holding out that well? Really? you're doing that well right now in holding the line. How's manpower? Is it manpower that's screwing us? A little bit. Moving ever closer. I mean, I know our army is also just outright not good. So that doesn't help matters at all, but are you really not gonna die? Oh, we got Bennett. Yeah, fuck. I could have seen that coming, perhaps. Look, could they see this coming? This is all well and nice, but we're not actually killing their troops. Which kind of complicates things if we want to, you know, defeat their army. If we can't push them back, we won't get them out of Vyatka. So all we're really doing is slamming our head up against a wall. That is essentially everything that we're doing right now. Just slamming our head against the fucking wall. Look! They're fucking encircled! How are they winning right now? Are our armies really... Okay, we finally killed one army. One whole division. I mean, I know their professionalism goes up a whole fucking level, but come on. Okay. Consolidate the monarchists. Many Komi share a desire for a return to the monarchy, but not all of them support our presidency. This is folly. Now that we have taken power, the cause of monarchism is inescapably tied to us. If we should fail, it will fail along with us. We must make the monarchists, if ever possible, bent, see that we are their only chance they have at seeing their vision for Russia restored. The Holy Czar returned, reigning in a Russia that has returned to greatness. Oh, don't you fucking do that. Come on. Okay, if you're gonna do that, actually, that works. So you can take that, and I'll take your capital. That seems like a fair trade to me. What do you guys think? Oh, you know. Yeah. Oh, fucking... This AI is so bad sometimes, it's great. Well, nice knowing you, Vlad. Oh, fuck, they took... No, they didn't take Perm. What's the hubbub, then? How are our normal divisions fucking better than their militiamen? That's what's confusing me. No, I think I just kind of have to accept that there are some things in this world that we'll never understand. You know what? That's probably okay. All that matters right now is owning these damn monarchists. We're running out of manpower. We took their camp. Cute little mechanical plants. Where's our capital now? Fuck, they took back Viatka. Can you stop attacking in? You retake Viatka. Chalet. Wait, do you have this cord? You do, okay. So start taking that bit too. And then Alexei lives! The early hours of July 17th, 1918, the Holy Tsar was murdered by Bolshevik traitors. It was said at the time that his only son and heir, Tsarevich Alexei, was murdered as well. That was a lie. The righteous Tsar lives. Whisked away before the traitors could kill him, and in hiding for almost 50 years now, he awaits the time when Russia has returned to the path of righteousness. Only then will he return and restore the greatness that we all knew in the past. Until that time, Taboritsky will rule in his place as regent to unite Russia behind this rule and make the country ready for his return. Taboritsky had spared no expense when he put together the assembly, and it showed. He didn't like making full use of his money and connections publicly, but for this rare occasion, he thought the display of wealth and opulence was well worth a little exposure. The imperial decorations and luxurious refreshments would reinforce his message of imperial greatness. He gave the invited guest ample time to enjoy both and waited until a little over 2 hours into the party before judging that the time had come and taking the step. My dear friends, fellow Russians, we have taken an important step towards unifying our great Tsardom. It is, however, but the first step of many. Since the loss of a holy Tsar, Russia has fallen far. Our motherland lies broken and shattered, her people divided, fearful, and in need. That unrighteous betrayal and our failure to prevent it set us on this path to destruction. And now the only path back is through righteousness. A righteous Tsar to lead a righteous people to march away from the humiliation of today and yesterday, away from the specters of fear, want, and division, towards a future where the greatness of Russia is restored. That Tsar lives. Alexei II survived the Bolshevik terror and waits in hiding for his throne to be restored. Only then will it be safe for him to return. Only then will righteousness rule the land once more. Until that time, strong leadership is needed to prepare Russia for his arrival. As regent, I will provide that leadership. I will lead us on the path of righteousness, and I will welcome you all to walk it with me. Together we will restore Russia to greatness. Together we will destroy the Bolshevik traitors and parasites that let her fall to ruin, and who will surely oppose us now. And with that, he led a toast, first to the assembled guest, then to Russia, and finally to the Holy Tsar, and punctuated the toast in his speech by forcefully hurling his glass to the floor. He left the stage with a sound of 100 glasses smashing as his guest repeated the gesture. The regency has begun. That's one of our VPs, so we'll avoid wasting any effort in capturing that. We'll take a foe. And with that, that should be it, right? Unless they're going to take Viatka back, which I doubt it. The eagle will never cry again. The Tsar has been toppled. Well, only one thing we can really do now. Put some troops on the Samara border. Okay. So we got a couple options here. And is that Samara justifying on us? It is Samara justifying on us, of course. Well, a lot of these don't require us to be at peace, which is good. So we can get working on these two at least. And you know, if I can take a loot, I don't care. Offensive line into Samara. Alexei lives. Levantine Confederation. Damn, they got their shit figured out in the Middle East. Okay. And they've declared war. Of course we have. Indulgent monarchist, question mark. Despite the shameful state of Vyatka and the treacherous nature of the false Tsar Vladimir, the ideology of monarchism is hardly discredited as a viable means of governing Russia. Taboritsky and his monarchist faction, while quite divergent from the rest of the front, are influential nonetheless, and advocate strongly for preserving and protecting the history of Tsardom. To indulge Taboritsky and his followers, we could place several of his supporters in high administrative positions in newly conquered territories of Vyatka, with Taboritsky himself as the local governor. While this most certainly allows him to gain power, influence, and support amongst the people, could it be worth it to ensure that the holy traditions of Russia are preserved, protected, and rightfully revered? I think so. The White Officers. With the Principality of Vyatka in our hands, we are faced with a large body of prisoners of war. The fate of rank and files are largely irrelevant, but what we decide to do with Vyatka score is another matter. Ustitovsk is in need of skilled officers, and pardoning and commissioning some of them could help swell our ranks with competent instructors. We have three options. We can release the most important skilled officers from prisons and integrate them into our army. We can pardon the officer corps and release them from prison, but not offer them commissions, or we can leave them to rot in prison. Let's commission the best and have them swear oaths of loyalty. I mean, they believed in a monarch, not the rightful one, but a monarch nonetheless, so perhaps there is still hope for them yet. Get the base bleed going. Do they have cores on this yet? They don't. So what we really ought to do is push through. Do they have cores on Gorky yet? No. We just need to push through and take their main VPs here. And honestly, that should really be it. Oh my god, that was ridiculously fucking easy. That was comical how easy it was. Oh my god. God, we could unify right now. I think we'll refrain from doing that just quite yet, because I think there's a fun little mechanic that's going to kick off. And we want to buy ourselves as much time as possible before we have to deal with it. So we'll hold off a little bit. Vyatka, after long struggles under our domain, years of animosity between us and them have come to a head in climactic struggle, one that thankfully we have won. However, years of monarchist rule in the region has left its culture decidedly czarist, something that part of our faction decided to use to their advantage. Taboritsky's clique has begun to push to have him nominated as a Grand Duke of Vyatka. Well, there's no real harm done by granting him his request, outside of some extra legitimacy for his way in viewing things. Some within our faction have pushed against the move, claiming it's merely a waste of time and tying ourselves with our stays. Point the most skilled and qualified candidate, Taboritsky. I'd want it no other way. Well... Excuse me. Let's secure Vyatka. With Vyatka captured and its vast population now under our guiding hand, its time has come to incorporate and integrate the territory. Officials must be tested, taxes must be collected, bandits and holdouts must be eliminated, and censuses must be conducted. Only once this long process of integration is complete can we hope to see the full potential of our latest conquest finally realized. Scavenge for some more loot, so let's do it. Is Human gonna win? That'll be interesting, because I've never seen them win before. Can we even... I don't think we can. No, we have to do the political stuff first. So we have some time to figure it out. We can't even do it anyway. But man, did not expect this to happen. So same idea. Commission the best, have them swear oaths of loyalty. Speaking of best, who are the best? Artashev is pretty good, so let's get him going. We got some familiar faces like Messner. Let's get Messner in. Oh, we can also halt security operations, so we might as well do that. Search for key targets, expose threat to stability of our government has finally come to an end. Secure forces are standing down and focusing their efforts on more pressing matters. So hope the mission was not in vain. The stability of our young administration has been ensured. We can move the capital Vyatka, so let's check that out. Our current capital, Usitovsk, has great benefits. It's far from the front lines, strategic location, has years and years of administrative framework dating back to the days of a front, all the way to the dawn of a new state. However, another option exists, one that has been realized for the newly created region of Vyatka. The city of Vyatka itself would make an excellent new capital for our state, hosting all the ministries and infrastructure that were used by the Czar to manage his realm. It lies in a central location with a large and fairly loyal population. It's on a much more conveniently located river for ease of transportation. To move the government is a daunting task, and some may say are impractical at this point in time, but if our new state's newfounded strength can surely be realized easily. Resistance to occupation. A little annoying, but I'm not worrying about it too much. Democracy in Italy. Let's do some of those things. Let's get some CAS going too. All I need, all I need. Okay, so first off, these guys aren't very good. So you might want to add a little bit of infantry there. That works so far. Artillery. Artillery. Yeah, if I could take it. Taboritsky's latest proposals have made waves ever since the conquest of Vyatka. He's been proposing the capital be moved from Usitovsk. However, many have taken offense to this. Some feel that it feeds the ego of the monarchists too much, while others feel there is no need for it. However, there's a final category of people opposed to this proposal. It's those who simply don't wish to move. Our TM and his family were this category specifically. In aid to the deputy, who frequently spent hours away from home, his wife and children had done their best to adhere to this schedule. And now this. Sergei Taboritsky standing on the assembly floor giving a speech. Partially composed, partially raving. Minutes turned to hours, but our TM was barely paying attention to the debate on the floor. Where would he and his family live? How would he explain the move to the children? They had friends here, and they would not be pleased to hear their father telling them that they had to pack up and leave their life behind. What of his wife? Valentina had done her best to stay by his side, no matter the long nights he was away. What would he tell her? They already likely knew of the news, but what were they going to say? Eventually the debate ended, and by the time came to go home, our TM walked calmly and opened the door before moving into the living room. They were waiting, they were watching. What news? Valentina asked as our TM opened his mouth to speak. Pack your things. Actually, we could use stability. No, pack your things. Symbolically, I think it works. We have a unique thing here. Welcoming the Mulatto-Rossi. Tabby is the leader. Let's give this a look. Our appraisal of Mulatto-Rossi was correct, it seems, and the integration of Berezhniki into our state is projected to go without a hitch. The ideology of Mulatto-Rossi continues to be a fascinating element, one that is quite appealing to the many within our state, especially the followers of Taboritsky. The development of Berezhniki can be greatly hastened by leaving its administration more or less unchecked, allowing the current government to exist with only minimal insight. And we can get training some guys, so let's do it. "12 whole divisions. Deploy them in Arkhangelsk. Oh, is it going to be Sverdlovsk wins? It could go either way at this point. I mean, Sverdlovsk is going to lose some troops there. Do the second purification. The Aryan Brotherhood claimed that they had purified their lands, removing the stain of Untermensch, installing a new order under their enlightened rule. This is, of course, mere delusion. The city of permanent lands around it have been stripped bare of their character. The people of the region have been abused and enslaved by the Aryans. We must aid the region, liberating the people from their chain, prosecuting the leaders of a damned cult, and installing a completely new local administration. The crimes which one must commit to be considered Aryan are a clear telltale that none of the Brotherhood's members are to be trusted. Thankfully now, they will forever bear the marks of shame. The Mulatto-Rossi are fascists, so they claim. For years they've staked out on the eastern of Vyatka, managing their own little patch of dirt with their unorthodox beliefs. However, Vyatka is gone, and the territory of Berezhniki is under our command. The question that has plagued multiple warlords over the years now falls to us. What do we do about the Mulatto-Rossi? On the one hand, their beliefs, as orthodox as they might be, do mostly fall in with at least some of the Komi right. They could make good political partners in the region. On the other hand, some of their own other beliefs directly clash with some of our closest held beliefs of our own. Some even whisper that they're Bolsheviks under a coat of white paint. Though some allegations are certainly exaggerations, they must be taken into account. In the end, the decision may not change the face of Russia forever, but it will certainly play a helping role for one faction or another, depending on what the fate of Mulatto-Rossi is. We don't need their synthetic ideologies. Ban them. Yeah, the influence of Taboritsky is pretty much confirmed at this point. I don't think it's going to go anywhere else. Sverdlovsk is winning? Yeah, winning. Second purification. Let's bypass this. And we're going to have to go to here, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you as always for watching. However, if you like this video, leave a like. If not, feel free to dislike. If you want to see more of this content in the future, hit the sub button for all episodes weekday. As always, there's Saturday. If you have any comments, feedback, concerns, anything of the sort, leave them in the comment section below. I read all the comments I get. Appreciate any and all feedback you might have for me. If you want to chat, play games, anything of the sort, check out my Discord down link below. If you want to... Fuck, I just got distracted by a YouTube comment. Check out my Discord if you want to send a few bucks my way with Patreon. If you want to see me do a sort of live up Twitch, all of which are down in the description box below. Thanks as always for watching, ladies and gentlemen. My name has been Dogbout333, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.